Greetings, peers and queers. Welcome back to another episode of Monday through Friday. My name is Jacee, and I wanted to do a bonus video for you this week. I had already posted another video, but I felt like that was more me personally. And I wanted to make one that would appeal to a larger crowd. So, remember in the last 4 years when things were looking good and we were starting to see more queer representation? You had artists like Chappell Rowan and Billie Eilish really coming into their own. You had shows like Bob's Burgers talking about real stuff. You had Agatha All Along being like this lesbian bomb that was dropped on us. And now all of a sudden, the political climate in Trump Part 2, the second term, which sequels are always worse, it's like all these closeted bigots are feeling like they can come out of the woodwork, and if they don't like something, then they go ahead and they try to make it so that that thing can't exist. And I'm talking about media here specifically. If they're not down with seeing, I don't know, an interracial couple or a queer couple in a commercial or a television show, if they're not cool with a trans celebrity endorsing a product, they take out their guns and fire at beer cans. Granted, that did happen within the last 4 years. But, like, I'm getting burnt out. I'm getting burnt out with all this, like, social backlash of, oh, well, you know, we're going to put an end to woke society. And it's like, I never said I was woke. You know? Like, I see cis heteronormal. I see cis heteronormative commercials and representation everywhere all the time, and it doesn't make me either one of those things. I'm just like, okay, cool, that's marketing, or that's cinema, or that's a television show. But when I see something that has, you know, a queer person in it, bisexual representation, or trans representation, I'm like, hey, I can recognize myself in that character. Good example, Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen, in the new animated Spider-Man films. That was a huge turning point. And I've even spoken with people who are like, yeah, Spider-Gwen's not trans. I don't know how you could see that. And I'm like, they weren't being subtle about it. A lot of what she said and a lot of the colors and effects going on in the background were specifically kind of pointing out this fact. And so far, that's the one character that we've had that was like, you know, super positive. Yes, there's a lot of like very talented actors and actresses out there who are doing their part. And we even have a lot of celebrities who are coming out as allies. Cher. I'm drawing a blank. I need to eat something. I haven't eaten something in a little bit, so I'm drawing a blank. Pablo Pascal. Cher. The one woman from the Halloween movies. I forget her name, but like, they're all, you know, doing this movement of like, you know, protect the dolls. Like, stand up for trans women, stand up for trans rights in general. It doesn't have to be a in-your-face, 24/7 thing where we are asking for our rights and to coexist. The only reason that it's becoming an issue and becoming such a prevalent issue is because certain demographics are fighting against are even being allowed to be out in public, are being allowed to be seen or have equal rights. No one on the internet talks about trans and queer people as much as like white Christian conservatives. And it's like, if you are tired of seeing this stuff, then why do you keep cramming it down our throats? Every time that I see a laugh emoji, that little smiley face where it's laughing like ha 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 on Facebook next to something that is about trans rights or a trans celebrity or a queer event going on or, you know, just somebody succeeding, somebody living, I'm thinking, hey, hear me out on this. If that's your little jab to like, oh, see, they're insane. They don't know what they're doing. They have no grasp on reality. What you're actually doing is you're engaging with that piece of media and you're teaching the algorithm that, hey, I would like to see more of this. Every time that a bigot does that little laugh emoji or comments something transphobic or just mean-spirited, hateful, borderline evil on a post like that, they're telling the algorithm, I want to see more of this. And then they go back and they complain, why am I seeing so much of this gay stuff? Because you keep engaging with it. Remember the good old days where it's like, mind your business? You know? Remember, I'm old enough to remember that when you went home before cell phones, you didn't have to engage with your place of business. You didn't have to be on call to your friends or society at large 24/7. You could go home, have dinner, and then turn your brain off watching some TV. You got to pick what channel you were watching. We are now living in a time and a place where it's like social media is right at the finger of our, right at the tips of our fingers at any given point in the day. We constantly have a little small glowing rectangle that feeds us stuff, honestly trying to get engagement out of us, but also trying to sway our opinions or make us purchase something. And I think we're all kind of just burnt out at this point, where it's like we need to take a step back from all this political stuff. We need to take a step back from all this Camp A versus Camp B type stuff. Granted, I'm here on this screen talking about it at the moment, but like even when I'm trying to enjoy myself and I'm just kicking back and I'm like, I want to watch a video about reptiles, so I'm going to watch Clint's Reptiles, or I'm going to watch Ants Canada, or I'm going to watch Casual Geographic. I want to just sit back and like turn my brain off, maybe learn something, definitely have a laugh, and be entertained. I have to sort through sometimes 50 videos about what the orange man is doing today, or what is going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene or a cabinet official trying to make it so that only people exactly like them can exist. Isn't it interesting that like trans people and queer people aren't the ones out there saying that no, only trans people can exist. No, only queer people can exist. We're just trying to do our thing. And we have to be loud. And we have to be vocal. And we have to keep an eye on politics and engage where we can, if we have enough spoons to do so, because life is demanding for everyone. We have to keep being vocal and engaging with this out of survival. On the other hand, Camp B, the orange camp, keeps coming up with this whole, I don't like what you're doing, so I'm going to take my own personal time to make sure that everyone knows that I don't like this. It's a little bit of the kettle calling black. It's a little bit of the kettle calling the pot black. And usually, universal experience would say those that cry, how do I put this? Those that are the most homophobic usually are the ones who are themselves closeted homosexuals. Those that are the most transphobic are usually the ones who are closeted transsexuals, transgender people. There was a post recently about everyone's favorite TERF, J.K. Rowling, talking about in a book that she had written a while ago, years ago, how, yes, had it been available to her in the 1980s, she probably would transition to become a man. Yet she's the one out there trying to turn the Supreme Court of the UK to a point where they ban transgender individuals completely. And it's a very sad thing because it's not just happening in the US. It's happening abroad too. It's happening in the UK. And I've got plenty of friends who live over there. And it's scary. It's like we're going through a second colonialism all over again, but this one's more digital. Anyways, that was just something that I've been thinking about. I don't really have any solutions or suggestions on this other than if you see something that isn't quite to your palate, but you know that other people like it, you don't have to buy the ticket. You don't have to be a part of it. A character walks on screen who you're like, I don't agree with that. You don't boo the camera. You don't boo the television and stuff, which I've seen my parents do. Anytime a trans character came on television, my stepdad would literally, from his armchair, boo and make a big stink about it. And I'm like, do you realize that this is that same actor who was in this show that you really appreciate? And then he'd do a double take and be like, oh, that is that actor. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it kind of sucks that they have a cis male playing a trans woman, but that's that same actor. I was doing this back before my egg cracked, but it upset me every single time. It's like you are vocalizing that you're against this when people in the show are getting murdered or being assaulted or there's fascism going on. That's all part of the story. But a character being trans or a character being queer is too much. They would sit there and watch Spartacus. My mom and my stepdad would watch Spartacus on HBO with full softcore porn scenes. But then the second that one of the women hit on another one of the women, or one of the guys was being romantic with another one of the guys, all of a sudden, they shouldn't be showing that. I'm like, you just saw straight porn for the last 45 minutes. And you have an issue with this as being obscene. It's okay for Disney princesses to make questionable choices and who their true love is going to be. And it's always a guy. But we've really kind of yet to have a same-sex kind of princess or prince story in Disney. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Let me know what that show or movie is. And there might be a few, but those few never received the same type of advertising or publicity as, say, the latest live action Snow White or Sleeping Beauty. They go unseen. So this was a little bit of a rant, and it's just like, if you have an issue with this stuff, don't engage with it, and you're less likely to be exposed to it. Listen, trans people and queer people are going to exist no matter what. You could pass as many laws as you would like, and I wish that you wouldn't. But you could try to legislate entire swaths of humanity out of existence. We're still going to be here. We've always been here. We will always be here. There has never been a time in the world when humans were around where trans people did not exist, where queer people did not exist. And I cannot wait for the day when we collectively as a society move on and start looking at everyone, regardless of their sex, gender, color, race, religion, nationality, nation of origin, language. When we stop looking at others as, you're different, I don't like you, and we start being like, we're all in this together. It's the human race. And let's face it, variety is the spice of life. We are all part of the tapestry of humanity. That's all that I wanted to say. Thank you all very much for watching. If you've liked this video, please hit the like button. I will see you again next week. Bye.